Hello and welcome back to Sorta Strategy and the new season of Road to Regionals, where I finally put down Infernoids that had to be ripped out of the palms of my hands, and yeah, I finally moved on. So I've decided for now, unofficially decided anyway, that I'm going to be playing Mekk Knight, Invoked, and other stuff, I suppose. And the reason for that is just I explained it in another video. If you want to go back and watch that, do. But yeah, definitely, I'm enjoying the deck so far. I've learned a lot. Some of these replays have kind of slightly different builds of the decks. Some of these replays, I make mistakes, but that's kind of me just showing, like, learning the deck and stuff, because there are things that I do that I'll point out and that I could have done better, right? Which is good. I think it's fine to show that. And then the other thing I'm going to give out about is that, yeah, 4 replays isn't that much, but Jesus Christ, on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, it's so hard to get a decent duel, for fuck's sake. There's people quitting 24/7, like, or just like people. Yeah, it's like, or you're having a good duel and then someone misplays, so they just quit. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Anyway, gonna just start and stop talking shite. Right. So first thing to notice is I'm playing Dragon Maids, the new deck that I covered there in a video not a couple of days ago. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Dragon Maids. At the start of the battle phase, the small ones go back to the hand to bring out a dragon from the hand. The big dragons go back to the hand to bring out a small one, and then the small ones all get effects when they're special summoned or normal summoned, and then the big ones, the dragons, have hand effects. This one then says on opponent's turn, this is like loose and from memory, okay? On the opponent's turn, if you special summon a dragon maid or a dragon monster or some shit like that, you get a pop. You destroy a monster on the field. But as you can tell, he's left himself with no monsters in his hand, so he pretty much has nothing, right? So, yeah, brings out some walls and all that kind of crap. I take his monster, activate this. I'm pretty much going to go into uninterrupted here. I have Kaijus and Super Poly, but Super Poly is dead, and Veiler obviously is no good. Kaiju would be a waste, and yeah, that's kind of that. Like, okay, so what I could have done there was, this is something that is kind of obvious to any veteran Invoked players, but if I had mind controlled his monster, the fusion, normal summoned Alistair, search the spell, I can link them away for the Alistair, the mad invoker guy, and then use invocation. Where is it? Shuffle back into the deck. Invocation says if I'm making an invoked monster, I can banish stuff from opponent's graveyard as well as my hand and grave and field or whatever. So I could have made the invoked link to activate the fusion spell, gotten a plus then off the invoked link 2. So he says when you fusion summon basically using an invoked monster, I think, you can discard a card, search another invocation, or Book of the Law, which is a quick spell tag out kind of for fusions. So yeah, that could have been done a lot better, but that's fine. I'm just showing that these are kind of plays that maybe newer Invoked players like myself wouldn't see straight away. So hopefully, if you're thinking of playing Invoked, this will be good for you. Right, so I discard to buff. He discards to buff his by 2,000, and I just negate with Mekka. So even though I played pretty subpar there, it didn't really matter in the end. I controlled him pretty easily. Yeah, and I had other stuff as well to help me come back. So that was kind of just a weird one. Some of these replays aren't the best, like, but anyway, they're just good for explaining what's going on. Right, so he draws the one of Trickstar Light Sage. Kandina searches Kurbane. Kurbane summons out. So he's going for new combo. Nightmare, Galatea, Harp, Symbols. Symbols goes to grave, summons Galatea, and then summons Singirsu. That's pretty much the normal go-to play now. It seems like Orcists, unless I'm missing something, Orcists are really not that great now. Like, Singirsu's strong and shit, but they didn't really plus at all, more or less. Like, they do have a good bit of stuff in Grave. Well, just a Nightmare Corruptor or whatever. Or not Nightmare Corruptor, Orcist Nightmare, whatever the fuck she's called. And then the 3 set cards are just stuff he drew. So it's kind of, it's in a weird spot, unless, like, you know, there's probably other plays that he could have done maybe or something if he was, I don't know how good this guy is, of course, but yeah. I Super Poly away, so I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I'm main-decking 3 Super Polys at this point, and 2 Mind Controls, but now I took away 3 Super Poly. Because honestly, it was a brick a lot. Even though I got to go second a lot, it was just bricking me up. It was a pain in the ass, honestly. It was like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. I guess it's just activating it, discarding something as well, and then sometimes just not having cards to power through. I don't know, the only real plus is Meltdown, Alistair, I guess Blue Sky, Purple Nightfall, a bit more situational. I don't know, it's weird. I took it out anyway in the next few builds. So yeah, this was a great play. Set rotation negating my Magical Meltdown. I summoned this Nightfall, whatever the fuck. And yeah, that's pretty much that. I don't think I could have done anything really that differently. He goes for a pop, so I just dodge just in case. It's non-targeting, so I have to there. He hits my back row, that's fine. I have some follow-up plays, so I'm not too worried. He does have a... So he's done some weird shit here, right? So, first of all... What was it he did? Yeah, so first of all, he takes my... He didn't negate my Purple Nightfall. Well, that was on his... That's on his turn. He had this set, though, since the beginning. Did he have a Link Monster at the time? No, he didn't, actually. Okay. This is all... I don't know. I'm getting a bit fucking confused. Right, so for some reason, he activates Mystic Mine. If you control more monsters than your opponent does, you cannot activate monster effects or declare an attack. Why did he activate this? I don't know. And then he left his Thousand Eyes Restrict out, so it just died in the end phase. If he had linked it away, he'd have won. He should have kept that set. This is just a weird duel. This guy fucked up or played really badly, but I don't know. I'll get to show some stuff anyway. So the Kaijus are great for getting rid of their one Link monster, because the Crescendo needs a Link monster out. I didn't really do all that much, so I couldn't, just for anyone who's wondering, I Kaiju his monster, summon out Purple Nightfall. I can't really attack because I want to get rid of Mystic Mine, so I have to wait till end phase, and that's why I couldn't summon any of my other guys either, because I need to have equal number of guys so Mystic Mine would kill itself. Nightmare, they're all doing their thing, and all that, but for, like, realistically, you should have linked these two away. This guy, I just feel like is... Am I missing something? Like, he needed to link these two away, or what? Even three if you want to get rid of the Kaiju, I don't know. Put out more attack power, first of all, but second of all, he'd get the Nightmare effect, unless he's used it already. I don't know. Like, what am I missing here, boys and girls? What am I missing? Yeah, so this guy is, you know, not the greatest of players, it feels like, or he's new to the deck or whatever. So then here, he links them all away to get rid of... I thought that it was to get rid of all the... He had 3 columns with 2 in it, so my Mekk Knights would have all been live, but then he summons it here, so there's another column. Now there's still only, you know, there's still another column, and then he sets a card here, so he's, you know, I don't know. I don't think he made this because... He made this pretty much for no reason. I think I'd be giving him too much credit if I said he made this to get rid of the double card columns. So I bait and negate there with Instant Fusion. Let me check. Is Crescendo once per turn? You can only use one of these per turn. Right, so yeah, his other one is dead now. He's got called by the Graven Twin Twisters. So I bait out the first one. Blue Sky comes out. Search to link away into this. And he quits then. So from here, I would have been able to summon Nightfall. Get rid of Nightfall. Search like Lavender. Summon Lavender. Move it. And then summon this and banish the Blue Sky from the grave and pop this back row. So I would have had a few out, and that's why when I get this guy out, like the trap, I always want the Mekk Knight trap that's kind of like a, what you call it? It's kind of like a skill drain for anything in the column of a Mekk Knight monster, because you can always get a few out with Lavender as well, and with Lavender on opponent's turn you can move them. It's really, really good. But yeah, so now I'm playing against Endymion, Pendulum, Magician, Dragon, whatever, mishmash. Yeah, so I save my negates here. I have 3 hand traps in hand, so I negate the Endymion. I wait for the Metal Foe Electromite. I negate that as well, and then I just realized pretty much here today that Effect Veiler's not once per turn, which is pretty fucking crazy. I was like, when I was reading it, like thinking saving my negate for LP, and then I just saw no once per turn, so I was like, fuck it, I'll negate both, obviously. So yeah, now he has a bounce pretty much, and he's got a Endymion with no tokens on it. So, but I don't have that much either, so I have to get this off. If I activate this and he had chained this, it'd only bounce back to hand though, right? I think it would, yeah, so that'd be kind of dumb. Could have summoned this and then gone battle phase, attacked, and then use this main phase 2, because I'm pretty sure he just bounces. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, I see, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, so this is another mistake I made, actually. I set this in main phase 1, making a 2-card column, but I had no intention of summoning any Mekk Knights at that point, so I should have just kept this in my hand. Main phase 2, I could have, you know what I mean? Like, there was literally no point, or not main phase 2, main phase 1. I think it was main phase 1 where he bounced, or banished my Alistair. So in main phase 1, it still would have been, I still would have had my battle phase, so I could have summoned this then. So basically, setting these early when you don't need them, that's a mistake I've been making, but I learned the hard way, and I've remembered it now as well, so it probably shows that I've learned it. I'm doing grand, I'm doing grand. Right, so he decides to summon lots of stuff here. He gets only 1 counter on his monster negate thing. I negate his Savage Dragon, so he's no negates on the board right now. Does quite a bit of damage, but thanks Upstart Goblin kind of mitigated a bit of that. And yeah, so he's no negates. I activate Desires, draw 2, have a Mind Control, and another Infinite Impermanence. Take his monster, link it away, because that's his negate. So here, let me see. What, did I make a mistake? I don't think I did, because he banished my only Alistair, yeah. So I make Purgatrio, add Alistair back to hand for my Banish Zone using, what's it called? Shuffle back into the deck. Invocation. So Invocation, when it's in the grave, can shuffle into the deck to add an Alistair back, and then Alistair in the hand can ditch himself from hand to give something 1,000 attack, and then Purgatrio can attack all your opponent's monsters once, and does piercing and gains 200 for every card your opponent controls, and then you can give him an extra 1,000 for Alistair. So he is a great comeback card if you can get rid of some of the negates using your instant fusions, your super polys, your mind controls, stuff like that. Bait out the negates, make him, he can just really pull a game back, and it's really, really strong. So you'll see here, when he comes out, opponent quits. So yeah, that was good duel now, to be fair. Last one then against Salamangreat. So for anyone who doesn't really know how, you know, I'm explaining a lot of stuff quite fast. So anyone who doesn't know how this works, this deck works, Invoked and all that, I will go through. I'll do a video on it. I'll do a archetype explained and stuff like that. So that'll be another video in the pipeline. So as of right now, I infinite impermanence his debug. I think it was the right play. This guy's playing Danger Salamangreats, which I'm pretty sure is not really common. I haven't really been playing too much now that the well, I haven't playing all that much, seeing as the season is kind of slowing down. I'm gonna be watching Worlds and stuff like that. But yeah, so he has hand traps with dangers. First of all, it's not a great sign, and then I get quite lucky with I hit the will with off his danger, which is nice. So I hit Ash first, great, and then I hit Will of the Salamangreats, which is also great. So I get quite lucky. Foul summons out. Jackalope doing all the stuff, gets the set. And yeah, so he's ended on like quite a subpar board. Well, to be honest though, for Salamangreats they always feel like they ended on a subpar board. But right now he's got Dweller and Roar. So it's nice to be against a deck that Dweller pretty much doesn't or to be playing a deck that Dweller doesn't affect. Instant Fusion to bait out anything, any negates. He has to negate Thousand Eyes. I try to take his Stelio because it's the strongest attack monster. He negates. I go for Alistair. Right, so this is going to be a thing I want to explain here. So right now, I fusion summon, which is something you should never do. So this is a big lesson I've learned so far from my testing of this deck, in my short amount of testing. But yeah, as someone who doesn't really know this deck that well, I've learned a lot in the last little bit, so here I'll give you some tips and shit. Once he has gotten his searches, which he did, he is pretty much a vanilla monster, so you want to just use him for link monsters, pretty much, or to finish game with his attack. Alistair, with Invocation, Invocation says you can fusion summon using monsters from your hand as fusion materials, right? Yeah, hand. If summoning an invoked monster, you can banish monsters from your field and or either player's grave. So, pretty much what I should have done, instead of banishing him from the field, I should have linked these two away, made the Mad Invoker, or Meltdown, whatever the fuck, yeah, Invoker of Madness, and then banished him from the graveyard along with him for the fusion summon, basically. So, it seems kind of obvious or whatever, but as someone who was new to the deck, I didn't really know the best way to use this guy. So you link away these two, make him banish from the graveyard using the field spell anyway, because you're using a link you're making an invoked monster, so it's pretty much free. And then when you fusion someone while this guy's on the field, you get to discard a card to search either Invocation or Book of the Law, but Book of the Law is already in my hand. So yeah, it's kind of, this is a big misplay, but I learned a lot. So I bring out Purgatrio to do the damage, and then summon out Purple Nightfall. That is another misplay, I'm 99% sure. I should have obviously summoned, well, in my mind, yeah, I should have summoned Lavender or whatever, Indigo, Eclipse, sorry. Why am I calling it Lavender? Oh, this one's OCG name's Lavender. Should have summoned Indigo, moved it, and then brought up Purple Nightfall for it to be negated, instead of, like, you know what I mean, little misplays like this, they are important and they do add up. So, Purgatrio doing his thing, attacking shit, he stops one with Balinks, it doesn't matter, and then Book of the Law, which if I had done the play right, I would have been able to search this anyway, but because I had drawn it, the play would have just let me search an Invocation anyway, so it's fine. Book of the Law says you contribute an invoked fusion monster to summon another invoked fusion monster with a different attribute. Summon Mekk, attack directly, and that is game. So even with like 2 big enough misplays, the deck was fine. So yeah, I've learned a lot in my time of playing this. So I'm going to go through the deck really quickly. To any veteran, Invoked, or Mekk Knight players, tips would be appreciated. I feel like siding this is definitely right. Having it going second, even though I was going second, it felt like it was bricky, or that it was like just, I don't know, it was kind of slowing the deck down or something like that. If I was to put it back in, I'd cut like maybe a Mind Control. Mind Control is not once per turn, but I don't know. Because I was drawing like, you know, copies of Mind Control, Instant Fusion, and maybe this as well, so I had nothing to really play through. So at one point, I'm testing a third blue sky. A lot of people play either 2 purple and 3 blue, or 3 purple and 2 blue. I think, I'm not sure, I think 3 purple is best and 2 blue. Because purple can move itself if they only give you 1 column with 2 cards in it. So you can summon purple, search blue, and then summon blue and search 2 guys out. So yeah, I'm playing yellow because a lot of the time what was happening is blue sky wasn't getting 2 searches because I'd already have the indigo, or if I use a second blue sky, its effect wouldn't go off. So I'm pretty sure it says you have to search. You can add with different names, except for this, from your deck champ, equal to the number of cards in the same column. So if you only have, one with a different name, so what would happen is I'd say summon blue sky, search an indigo and a purple or whatever, and then he can't search himself. So if there was 2 in the deck, it would be purples and blues, and his effect wouldn't go off, and I wouldn't plus. So I'm playing the yellow now to mitigate that, and it really is good. Yellow is like, I actually like it, to be honest. I don't see any problem with it. So yeah, thinking of cutting blue to 1, but I wasn't to 2, by 1 I should say, but I wasn't really seeing it enough. Alistair is great, having 2 of him is great. I'll explain the Ibli probably now. Ibli is for when you go first, you can summon it from the deck using Mermaid. Mermaid will, or Ibli, basically, the controller says, she goes to graveyard, you link her off, she summons the opponent's side of the field, and then she says, so first of all, she's on the opponent's side of the field and helps you fill out columns, which is great for your Mekk Knights, and then the other thing is, the controller of her cannot link summon. So, actually, wait, so how do you link her off then? And I was going to say, I've made a mistake where, in my extra deck, where I go Phoenix, make Mermaid, summon Ibli. I guess I'd have to tribute her with like Blue Sky or something like that. How do you get rid of her? Fusion her away, actually, using Invoked. That's probably the way it is. So yeah, there are a few ways to get rid of her then. I'm just like still learning these things. But yeah, I haven't, so going second a lot, I haven't really been able to use her. She's been bricky enough, but in theory she's really good. Gives you a floodgate for going first option. She puts a card in an opponent's column. But I still have to fiddle around with her and see if I can get it to work a bit better. It seems like a bit of a brick for now. It gives me access to Caliga, I guess. That's pretty much it. It helps give me access to Caliga. Ash's been great. Vader's been great. 3 Kaijus. A lot of people are playing 2 or none sometimes, I'm seeing. But I really like these. I think they're really good. The special summon is great. And yeah, I think they're really good. I'm just playing the Earth one in case I put a Gameciel onto the other side of the field pretty much. Meltdown. Doesn't need to be explained. Terraforming. Called by the Grave. I'm playing 3 Mind Control, 1 or 2 Instant Fusion. I was playing the other way around, but this isn't once per turn. This is once per turn, and yeah, that's pretty much that, I think. I wasn't playing Desires at first. So since the beginning, I was playing 2 Super Polys instead of these, and then a Super Poly instead of this guy. I was playing an Upstart Goblin somewhere for something in here, but I don't really know what off the top of my head. Maybe I was playing 2 and 2 at one point, I can't remember. And then I was playing this card. It's basically World Legacy Secret is basically a skill drain for any column that has a Mekk Knight in that column. And it's searchable off Morningstar. Morningstar basically can discard a Mekk Knight or World Legacy card to add a World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. Which is this, pretty much, World Legacy Secret. So, it's pretty good at going first option. I'm considering trying to run both of these in the main, but I don't know now, seeing as how bricky Ibli feels. I'm not sure yet. I'm still feeling it out, and I'll come back to you on that. I'm playing Skill Drain because these can also run from the hand, and they're pretty bulky. It's good against some decks. I'm testing it. The extra, I'm not sure about main decking these anymore because the extra is really tight. I wouldn't mind another Purgatrio, and I need a Link 3 really badly. And other than that, I think the extra deck's good. It'd be basically these two that I might side, but if I was to side them, I don't know what I'd cut from the side, so who knows, probably this. It's basically the same as this card except for spells. And yeah, that is the basics of the deck gone over. Give me any tips and tricks that you have for me, I guess. And then other than that, I suppose I'll definitely explain the deck better in another video. I'll do an Archetypes Explained, as I said, for Mekk Knights and Invoked, probably in a joint video. And yeah, so if you don't really understand a lot of the shit I was just saying, if you're a newer player or haven't seen this deck before, in which case you're probably a newer player, I'll do a video on it. So subscribe if you want to see that, pretty much. So yeah, drop a like if you liked, subscribe if you want to see more, and thank you so much for watching. And yeah, remember to give me any tips that you want to give, pretty much. Oh, and I've hit 50 subscribers, so that means I'm going to be doing a giveaway. Sub up if you want to be part of the giveaway. I don't have any subscribers, so the chances are you have a good chance of winning, pretty much. I'll do the competition through a website, but it'll just be a link in the description. It'll be good. I'll do a video on that as well soon. So yeah, hopefully that'll all be coming down the pipeline to you soon. Anyway, thanks again. Sorry for the ramble, and yeah, bye bye.